Saturday training call. Guys, we do this every Saturday. All right. So get your notebooks, get your pens out because we have tons of information to give to you in just a short time, so that you guys can actually go out and kill it for the week and every week thereafter. Guys, we go over something different every week. So this is why it's so important to plug in. This is the fastest and the quickest and the best way to train a bunch of people at once if you're looking to build a business, especially if you guys are looking to take over that integrity deal. So, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and start out with our highlights. Some people who have done some amazing things this week. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is the first sale. And this is very, very important, guys, because we have a lot of people who don't have a background in insurance. They've never sold insurance before, but they actually sold their first policy. So we're going to get started with Sandra. Sandra, we are super excited for you. I watched this lady in the office dial and she booked her appointments and she went out there and she actually made her first sale. So Sandra, we're so excited for you. Take 2 minutes to talk about that. Do we have
Bryan, I don't
Sandra
see her
on?
on. Keep going.
All right, not a problem. Congratulations, Sandra. The next person we want to highlight is Yvette Searson. We are super excited for you as well. Take 2 minutes and talk about what you're excited about and also your first sale. Do we have Yvette on? Going once, going twice. All right. And then the next person we want to highlight is Jennifer Rickerson. Congratulations on your first sale as well. Take 2 minutes to talk about why you're excited. All right, and how you did that. All right, do we have Jennifer on? All right, guys, not a problem. Some of these people are part-time, so not a problem. Congratulations. All right, guys, just a few announcements before we get started into our guest speaker. I do want to talk about Friday, April 30th, guys. If you don't know, we have a grand opening to the brand new FFL National office. This is super exciting. Guys, April 30th. Please RSVP, get with your manager. All right. It is business casual. Guys, this is very exciting. It's a huge office. It's brand new. And it's a chance to get people here so that you can see the expansion and what we're doing. And just a short year, guys, we're just moving very quickly. People are getting their integrity deals. People are hitting milestones. You do not want to get left behind, guys. So the grand opening is going to be April 30th, this Friday. Please dress business casual, and it is going to be a catered event. So that is the grand opening. And then a few other announcements for the HCMS. All right, guys, if you're not familiar with that, get with your manager. The HCMS is a new system that has been put in place so that you can actually track your team. All right, it's also a way so that you guys can get contracted a lot faster and a lot easier, and it's organized. So Lauren, if you don't know who that is, get with your manager, or if Kali, one of the leaders, can actually put Lauren's email. If you're having trouble with HCMS, all right, you need to reach out and email Lauren so that she can help you with the process and getting contracted. So just a few announcements. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, so the first one, Lauren said, beginning, well, tomorrow, which was when she sent the message, that all agent invites have been pending for 30 days will be deleted, guys. So this stuff is time sensitive. You want to make sure you're on top of this, guys. And it's a lot of people making a lot of money, so you don't want to get left behind. You don't want to wait. You don't want to delay it. Get it done. Please check your email and also your spam email. If you do not see it in your email, some of the notifications might be in your spam email. All right. And then this will mean that your new licensed hires will need to request contracting again if it's been past 30 days. Beginning April 30th, agents who have not updated their profiles to include the different carriers will also be deleted. All right. And if you don't have any carriers, or if you have one carrier on your HCMS profile, you will also fall into that category and you will be deleted, guys. So if you're a new licensed agent, or if you're looking to get licensed, you will need those first four carriers. And if it's not done in 30 days, you will be deleted. All right. Then beginning May 7th, guys, please write these dates down, because the one thing that our leaders hate is having to go back over information we've already covered. But May 7th, all agents who are not active in HCMS, meaning you have not logged on, who were merged in by corporate, you will also be deleted. And if anyone needs assistance on how HCMS works, Lauren will be more than happy to walk you through it. She also sent another notification. Just a friendly reminder, when you request a carrier, which is a company that you're looking to get contracted with, don't forget to finalize your request by clicking carrier approve and adding your writing number once you received it. Okay. So guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, get with your manager. If you have HCMS and you do not know how to operate it and you just really don't know, you can't find your password, anything, you need to contact and email Lauren. All right, guys. So that's all the notifications that I have for today. We're going to jump right in. I'm going to pass it over to our amazing VP, Head of Fury, Kali Somerville. Take it away, girlfriend.
Good morning, everybody. So this is a super exciting call. I'm telling you guys, if you got team members that are not on this call, you need to get them on this call. Because we have Bryan Mendendall this morning. And so if you're not familiar with who Bryan Mendendall is, Bryan has been with Family First Life for about 6 years. And he has recently, him and his team has gone over $1 million in volume. So that promoted Bryan to board member. And I know Bryan, it took him about a year, but he's going to tell the story. I'm not going to tell it for him, but he's going to go over what he did to get his team from 250,000 to $1 million in issue pay volume in 1 month. Issue paid was 1 million issue pay in 1 month, right? So, Bryan, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Bryan.
Cool. Hey, I want to ask a question. It's my first time on your call, and the reason why I love these Zoom meetings is I feel like I can get around and get to see people and know faces. I don't see anybody's cameras on. I've never been on anybody's Zoom meeting where nobody has a camera on. Is that what's going on?
That's kind of been our norm, but you obviously
crazy.
You know some things. And
hey, we could do a phone call. We could do a phone call if y'all want. I do the videos because I want to see the faces. There we go. Thank you, guys. I see it. What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Got a couple people popping up. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
What's going on?
I like to see the people. What's up, Sean? What's up, guys? All right,
hello,
now go ahead.
Hello.
Talk to me. Let's get started.
Good morning.
All right, so Bryan, here's the thing. This is a crazy thing about it. So when I first came to Family First, my first sales conference, you were one of the speakers, right? You talked about your uncle, your aunt. You made why job insurance doesn't make sense. So that it definitely wants you to tell some of your story. But I just think it's amazing that, back in 2019 and in 2019, I saw you on stage, and then now you're here on, our conference call. Like, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So we really appreciate you. We appreciate your time and everything that, that you're doing, because you don't have to do this, so whatever you got, please, take it away, pour in, but tell us your story about how you got started in insurance, what you did before you were doing insurance, your journey here at Family First Life. So let's start there, and then I'll ask you some other questions in regards to where you were, and then where you are now, what's your next steps, and how you did it. That's probably the most important thing, how you grew so fast. And what your team is, what's your next step for your team?
Okay. Well, first off, I want to start by saying, Kali, I appreciate you. You're first class all the way. You don't know how much you've done for the company so far with getting on stage and sharing your stories, and you always be jerking all the tears out of everybody. But so many people get motivated and know that anybody could actually do this. When anybody sits and listens to your story, being where you came from, being in that little efficiency to what you have going on for yourself now, that's truly a story where everybody thinks that, anybody could truly do this. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you do and for having me on and trusting me with your team. So a little bit about me, my past. I was a general manager. I worked at a gym. I worked at LA Fitness. I was there for 10 years. I was a manager. Basically, it's glorified babysitter, but I sold gym memberships. So people came in, they wanted to get fit. I was the guy they talked to, sold them a membership, tried to help them. That was it. I did that for 10 years, guys. I'll tell you, I was working, without exaggeration, 70 hours a week. And, I thought I was making pretty good money. If you look at it, I was making about 120 grand a year. And 120 grand is pretty good money until you realize you're working double time. So if you're working double time, you're working almost 80 hours almost, you're really making 60 grand. And that wasn't even the kicker. I love what I did for 9 years of the 10. Towards the last year, it was kind of, they were almost threatening, where it was like, hey, you need to do this, or we got somebody that will love your job. We needed, and they made it where it wasn't fun. What broke the straw that broke the camel's back is, after 10 years of being there, I needed a vacation, guys. I was tired. Now you got to remember, I started at 18 years old. Right out of school, I got this job. So 18, 19, 24, 25, I wasn't tired. But around 28 years old, I started getting a little tired. Maybe I need a vacation, right? And they didn't want to give it to me. And I realized that, you know what? I had no control of myself, working for someone else, having them, basically I had to ask to go to the bathroom. And no grown man should be in that situation. I told them I wanted a vacation. They said, hey, if you go on vacation, we'll have to let you go. I said, okay. Monday showed up, Callie. Guess what happened? I was on vacation. They called me and said, hey, where you at? I'm on vacation. Oh, you no longer work here? No problem. I filled out unemployment, right? The same day. The next day I get a call. They say, hey, I want you to come back and manage this other club. I'm like, do not ever call me again. We don't work together. At that night, and I gotta be honest, like a whole month, 2 months before that, I used to go to sleep at night. I had like cold sweats because I didn't know what I was gonna do for my future. The goal from a general manager, you make 120. Back then, the district managers made 250 a year. So to me, the carrot that they would dangle in front of me was that I would get a district manager spot. I always had the top 1, 2, or 3 clubs in the whole country. So they would dangle that carrot in front of me. And one day they actually demoted 12 district managers. So instead of promoting me to where I'm supposed to be, they demote 12 district managers, which got me thinking I have no control over my future. And I used to sleep at night not knowing what I was going to do. After I left, guys, I literally went on, Dwayne, you got to mute yourself, bud. That night when I left, I went on Craigslist, and I actually saw an ad that said, we have more families that need help than agents. Help a family, make $500. And I'm like, dang, that don't sound that horrible. See, selling the gym membership, you made $100 every time you helped a family with a membership. Doing that was $500. So I started with another company, didn't know what the heck I was doing in life insurance. This is why I say, guys, I don't know what your past is, but life insurance literally changed my life. And it's so it's nutty, because my first year I was clueless. I had no clue. I made 120 grand. My second year, again, still clueless, 200,000. Third, fourth, and fifth, I made 250 grand, not knowing what I was doing. I will tell you that company, they would charge me for training. I had to buy material, I had to pay for books, I had to pay to be parts of group clubs and ask questions to the top guys. It was ridiculous, guys. My 5th year, I partnered with Family First Life, guys. I literally went from being stuck 3 years in a row at 250 to making over 533,000 my first year here, and was lucky enough to be the #1 producer that year. What I've been excited about, honestly, was not me being a #1 producer, but the few years after, 2, 3 years in a row, the #1 producer came from my group. So I know I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm really good at helping people figure this business out. It's kind of like a gift, because I really do care and I pour into people. That's pretty much where I'll stop, because I want to leave it open where you can ask me whatever questions you want. I will tell you one thing I did, Kylie, which was a huge mistake. And anybody listening to me right now, maybe they can make sure they don't make the same mistake I made, is I was a secret agent. So that first year I made 500, the next year I made more, the next year I made a lot more, and nobody was knowing about what I was doing.
Oh my God.
I was riding by myself. I felt like, now when I look at it, it was the most selfish thing I could have done. Like, I tell people that our business is essentially, it's unlimitless. We can hire as many people as we want, and we still have more opportunity. It's like a gas station up the street is only charging $1 per gallon. They got unlimited gas, but you're not telling the people that you care about. Why would we do that? So now I'm not a secret agent. Everybody knows what I'm doing. If you follow me on social media, you see I'm turning it up even more. I'm doing more, I'm saying more, I'm helping more people.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. That's the whole key, Brian. Like, you know, the more people you help, the more, you know what I'm saying, the more people we can help, right? So, because you can only help one client at a time. But if you have a
Correct.
squad, then you can help a lot of people. You know what I mean? And what we do is so important. Tell us a story about your aunt. How your aunt had the job insurance and she got cancer.
Sure.
That to me, you know, and it's so helpful for people that don't understand, you know, newer people about, you know, the downfall of just having job insurance, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we
Sure.
run into people all the time. I'm good. I got insurance at my job, but are they really good?
Yeah. So any of you, if you haven't seen The Call to Close, you want to actually go watch that on YouTube. It's got like, I've seen like 5 different versions, but the one has 40,000 views or something like that. And then there's a bunch more. But I talk about my aunt, guys. When I first got my insurance license, I went around to all my family members, all my friends. I said, hey, all of you guys need insurance. I cover all of them, literally all of them, besides my Aunt Tina. Now, my Aunt Tina actually had work coverage. She told me, hey, you know, I make 100 grand a year, which she made 100K. And she got 3 times her salary in the event that she were to pass away while she was working. Being a brand new insurance agent, I didn't really have a clue, but what I did know is I had coverage for her. So I asked her twice if she wanted coverage. She said she didn't want it. I let her go. Guys, she ended up coming down with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And my aunt's she was no chump. She's no punk. She's a fighter. So she came down with that cancer and she just started fighting. And she fought and she fought. She actually ended up fighting so long. When she first went to her job, she told them what happened. They said, hey, get better. We'll hold your position. Everything's okay. She lasted about six or so months. And then what happens, guys, is her job came to her and said, we can't hold it anymore. We need to fill a position. In a nice way, they fired her. Literally within the next month, she ended up actually dying. The problem, guys, is that because she wasn't actively working, she didn't have any life insurance. So we literally had to scratch money together just to bury her. I gave like $3,600. It was what I had at the time back then. This is 2012. And literally, guys, we lost the house that she lived in. It was just horrible. And I'll be honest with you, I felt like it was my fault because if I'd actually pushed a little harder, who knows? Maybe she would have done it. Maybe she wouldn't have, but I feel guilty for not doing it. So in every single house that I go in, I nip it in the butt, the work insurance, because I don't care what you have through your job. It's literally like a company car. When you leave the company, they're going to take the keys. You don't get to keep it. So that's what you can use. And every single one of you have my permission to use that story. All you have to say is, it wasn't me, but I have a partner I work with. This happened to his aunt. And you can crush any work insurance and you won't ever get that objection. They would actually feel stupid to bring it up.
Now, and then but then on the other side of that, you helped your uncle, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. And we all got checked out, guys. Don't worry about us. We're all good. But my aunt and uncle, they both had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Their brother and sister. But the crazy thing is I actually did help my uncle with a policy. And when he actually ended up passing away, I was able to actually be able to pay the house off. We actually did a bigger policy than what his mortgage was. So he had the house that was actually paid off and got leftover money to, you know, my little cousin Rick, Michelle and Samantha, his 2 daughters, which is pretty cool. So it's like I tell both stories in the house because after I tell the one, I kind of need to bring them back up a bit because I even have to bring myself up a bit because every time I tell it in the house live, like I feel it every single time. And I told it thousands of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and those are great stories, Brian. So, and that definitely, it reminds me too, you know what I'm saying, that I need to use that story, you know. So nuts and bolts. So everybody, y'all definitely need to get out your notepads, your pens, whatever. Because Brian, how long did it take you to go? Because I remember at the convention, they said you went from 250,000 in volume to 1 million in a year. Is that right?
No. So
okay.
we were doing 2. So first off, let's back it up because we hit vice president. I started recruiting probably in the beginning, playing around with it in the beginning of 2018. And it took us like 6, 7, maybe 8 months to hit VP, which is 150K. It was only me and 7 guys. So we all just sold a bunch, right? And we stayed around that point for maybe a year and a half. We weren't growing the way we are. Then we got up to 250, but I was at 250 for about a year and a half. And guys, I'll tell you some of the things I did to stay at 250, which are the things you don't want to do. And so we'll be able to work through that. But we were at 250, 300 in January, February of last year with COVID, right after that COVID hit. But guys, we were able to go to 910,000 by October, fell back a little bit, but then last month we hit over $1 million. So you figure it took us a little over a year to hit $1 million, but from 250 to 910 was the huge jump. That was the big jump.
Yeah. Okay. So but that sounded like it took less than a year, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was. Yeah, it was less. It was definitely less than a year. I'll tell you some of the things that kept us at 250. And I actually did a training. It's kind of funny. I was actually talking about what it takes to be a board member the other day in Jersey. And I was actually trying to help these guys get themselves to the next level. One thing that I did with my team is I tried to make it real clear with people how important what we do is and what our opportunity is right now. Like family first, it wasn't like this before, by the way, just so you know. It's an unfair advantage. Like y'all have an unfair advantage because when I started, everybody has secrets. There's no way, Kylie, like I like you as a person and you're cool, but a long time ago, I would have got on the call and trained with your people. But when you ask for help from others, they kept secrets. Okay. If you ask Sean why he likes my trainings the best, because I tell everything. I don't hold anything back. But the company wasn't like that back then. Now it's an open book. So if you want to find out what people are doing, you could reach out to Andrew. Hey, Andrew, what are you doing? Paul, what are you doing? Mike, what are you doing? Mark, what are you doing? And these guys will tell you everything. So we didn't have that unfair advantage. That's the cheat code. See, when somebody's doing something that you're not doing, they just know something that you don't know. Does that make sense? So another thing that I wasn't doing is I kept the emotions. Like I was very emotional. So like just how I'm passionate about everything. If you watch my training, you'll see I get real passionate. I also can wear my emotions on my sleeves, right? I met with Sean in December of 2019. And I said, man, listen, what do I need to do to grow? He said, man, I'll be honest with you. You're too darn emotional. You got to stop being emotional. And I'm like, that sounds good. It's easier said than done. But he said, if you do that, then you'll grow. I said, all right, I'm going to, in 2020, I will not be emotional about my business. And I literally took all the emotions out of it. What does that mean? That's a huge thing to say. Take all the emotions out, right? But that goes for everything. An agent disrespects me or says something that I don't like, and normally I take it very personal, right? Yeah, it's business. He's just upset. No big deal. More importantly, staff. Callie, see, I used to do this weird thing. I'll tell you. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
So I used to do that. I used to do that with staff. You ready? Anybody, and some of you don't even have staff yet, but when I would hire staff, Kylie, I would go hard. They would say, hey, hire 2 recruiters. So I have an admin, which I never got rid of my admin, and I would hire 2 recruiters. 30 days, I would say, hey, Mark, hey, this thing ain't working. I don't see the results yet. Hey, give it some time. Give it some more time. It takes 90 days is what he would tell me. I call him the next week, Kylie. Hey, man, this thing ain't working yet. These guys ain't moving. Kylie, by the 6th week, I would call him and the conversation was a little different. You want to know what it was? Hey, Mark, man, they didn't work. I would have already fired them. Guys, I was so emotional about every little thing, watching my money, like checking for stuff that I couldn't grow. So now what I did was I tried to put people that are really good around me, and I empower them that they actually can do it. Before I tried to stay on top of them to make sure they did it, and if they didn't do it within a short amount of time, I just let them go. Now I empower people to be better, and these guys literally start growing. When you step back and let people, and you manage and you don't micromanage, you get so much more out of the right people. And I never spend as much money on advertising, on marketing, without like, I'm just spending it and spending it and spend it. I hear them talk about Dave Witcher, about how like he had no money in his account. And he had some money, like 20 grand here or whatever. But like, I started spending money at a high clip. Another thing I did, Kylie, is, and everybody needs to take this in consideration, because in your normal life, you might not be cheap, but I promise you, I don't care who I'm talking to on here, unless you're writing 40, 50 grand a month, you're cheap. You're a little, and no, just don't take it the wrong way. You have alligator arms when it comes to this business. Because if you didn't, you'd be doing 3, 4, 500 grand, unless you're brand new. So when it comes to spending money on this business, people are a little nervous. They don't want to spend money. I changed. I had to get rid of it. I started putting the money where my mouth was, and I took the fear out of it. I took the emotions out of it, and that was a game changer. Kylie, what also happens when you do that? You want to know what happens? People see it. You got a lot of people following you right now. You're already putting the money in. Be more verbal about it. Let people know the sacrifices that you're making, the amount of money that you're spending, and eventually, guess what's going to happen? The cream is going to rise to the top. Some of the people that really want to grow are going to start spending more money. They're going to start advertising. They're going to hire a recruiter. How many recruiters does your agency have right now?
Me currently, I have one recruiter and one contracting person. So I have 2 staff.
Yeah, that's good for you. How many do you have in your agency? Everything under you?
Oh, total 2.
Yep. Now here's the deal. Here's what's going to be the game changer for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Kylie, you got 62 people on here right now. And I heard like 10 people drop off and on or whatever. You got 70 something, 80 something agents, right?
No, actually, so this is me and File's group, right? Not just me, my File too. So this is all Allegiance. So like Fury, we have about 180 something agents licensed.
Okay. So out of 180 licensed agents, could you imagine what's going to happen if 10% of them say, Kylie, I'm riding with you. I'll do this thing with you. I'll get uncomfortable. Hey, what does it look like? Can you run an ad for me so I can hire an admin and I need a recruiter? Or forget the admin. I'll deal with the admin work for now. I want to grow. I need a recruiter. Could you imagine if tomorrow you went from 2 to 20 recruiters?
That would change. That would be a game changer for the whole squad.
Yeah, you'd be at $1 million in the next 2 months. But here's what it's going to take: somebody to get uncomfortable. You ever heard somebody say in our company, the more uncomfortable you are, the more comfortable your family is?
Yeah.
But that's what it's going to take. Get uncomfortable, guys. Go out and write 40 grand a week or 40 grand a month, right? If you're writing 10K a week, keeps all problems away. I don't know anybody that complains about anything that writes 10 grand a week. That starts with investing in the leads. See, that I never had a problem with. My first year, when I told you I wrote 533, I spent $2,000 a week on leads. So when it came to me talking to people about spending money on leads, that was never a problem. But what would happen, Kylie, is it was addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction. We would add 4 agents, 2 would leave. We'd add 5, 3 would leave. And it was never multiplication because I never had anybody building with me on this side. Now I have people that believe. What's the big game? What's the big game changer? Integrity came into when integrity came in the picture, and people knew they can actually build a legitimate business, have a company come in and want to buy you for 5, 6, 7 times your value, give you that money, give you the back end money, have an IPO hit, and you become multi-millionaire, like, and your family never want for nothing again, and you can give that option and that possibility to anybody on your team that decides to take their alligator arms out and spend money and invest. See, right now, we never had this many people running. You remember the 4-minute mile story, Kylie?
Yeah, of course.
Nobody could do it.
Yeah.
Nobody can run a mile in under 4 minutes, right? It was 5 this, 5 that. Nobody could do it until what? One person
One
did it.
person did it.
Do you know before Sean has it hit it, before he had his integrity deal, how many board members did we have? Do you know the answer?
I have no idea. You said before integrity?
Yep.
Nope. This is good to know though. How many?
If I'm not mistaken, 5.
5. Okay.
5 people that were doing over $1 million a month. That's October 2019. Do you know how many we had last month?
Last month, how many?
Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
30.
Wow. Last month.
Yes. For the month
And in
of
2019,
March,
there was 5 for the year.
for the year.
Wow.
If y'all don't see, people are waking up. Rising tide raises all ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a wave going through right now. Y'all better start paddling. How you paddle is you go sell out. You sell a ton of insurance. See, when I was working 70 hours at the gym, I was working for somebody else. What I didn't tell you is when I started here, I went to 40 hours. I'm like, oh man, I wasn't the best boss. And I did all right. I made good money, but a lot of people get comfortable, right? I go from working 70 hours for somebody else to working 40 for myself. What would have happened if I said, I'm gonna still work this 70? I'm gonna spend 40 in the field, 30 recruiting from day one. Right now, we'd be doing $7 million a month. I would have helped 7 times more people. See, Callie, I will tell you, you're probably not there yet. You'll probably be there shortly, but eventually you're gonna get to a point where, you know what? Coming from where you came from, you're probably there already. You don't need more money. Like the money that you make right now, like you probably making like a lot more than you thought you'd ever make. And you don't really need, at this point, it's not about the money for you. When you go to restaurants, you don't look to the right, see how much it is and decide what you want to eat from there. You just order.
Nope.
You don't make decisions based on money. But a lot of people still are. You can get out of that comfort. You can get out of that being comfortable, work hard here, and then you don't have to do that. But because it's not about the money no more, it has to be about something else. See, me, if you can't tell, it's about the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how many people I can help. I promise you, my mom made 80 grand. My mom made 80 grand a year working overtime as a prison guard. Everybody in my entire family is a prison guard. When you're making over $100,000 a month, and they do it in a year, they do less in a year than what you do in a month. You think it's about the money?
No.
It's not. It's about the value I can give you guys. What other question you have for me, Kylie?
So, okay, you said, one of the things is being, I guess, public about, what's being spent, right? What did you, so when you first like, okay, now I need to grow this thing and grow it big. What were you spending monthly, like just on business costs?
Kylie, what I'll tell you is the game is different. You don't want to listen and do what I did back then, because the end play before the end game was to get as many overrides as you can for as long as you can and just keep getting overrides. There was no integrity, bright light at the end of the tunnel. If there was, right, I would have played a whole different game. You understand?
Yeah. So I got you.
Your question should be, being where I'm at right now, what should I be willing to reinvest to get this deal with integrity? So to answer your question that you just asked me,
I love that question.
I would spend everything. I'd pay myself a salary. I would pay myself a salary. The salary that I do pay myself, just so you know, I pay myself a salary. The salary pays my bills, some entertainment. I do like to have fun, go out and do a couple things once in a while, like every Sunday or something like that. But outside of that, I will put all the rest of the money back into my business. I mean, I was doing, and I'm still doing it, but I'm only doing it now because I've already started it. But I was doing $5 grand a month in IULs. And then outside of that, I was just paying myself, and everything else I was putting like in the business once I decided to get serious. When I wasn't serious, like I told you, I nickel and dimed it. But what I would do right now, guys, is I would pay yourself a salary, and everything else I will put back into the business so you could double up, triple up, and blow this thing up fast. You want to go 10x as fast as possible. How much did you do last month, Callie?
We did 298,000.
300 G's. Okay, so 300 G's, you ain't far away. You're gonna go
No,
from
this
3
month
to a million fast.
we're at
Who are your
254.
5 people
We're at 254 this month, so we're
in 3
projected to
weeks?
finish with over 400 this month.
Yeah. So here's your growth. This is a 5-week month. You'll do 400. Next month, you'll do over 400 in a 4-week month, which is at least a 20% growth. But then here's what's going to happen. You're going to identify 5 to 7 people on your team that you trust, that you believe in, that you can actually build this thing with, and you're just going to show them exactly what you're doing. I will give you guys something that I feel like is going to make everybody blow up. I would say every single one of you, even if you're not ready to have a recruiter, even if you're not ready to spend the money today, it's fine. Do yourself a huge favor. Remember, like this, Callie, the world that we're in at Family First Life is not the real world. Okay?
No.
It's like the Matrix. And it's the first time I'm saying this out loud, but it's kind of funny. I'm only saying that. Listen, check it out. I'm only saying that because in the Matrix, in this world, where $1,000 or $2,000 a week is like, man, you ready to fight somebody, you're pissed off because you had a sucky week. You only made $2,000, right?
Yeah.
Like if you went out this whole week and wrote $2,000, you'd be ready to fight. You'd be really mad, right?
Yeah, for sure.
$2,000 a week is still $100,000 a year. So
That's
what
crazy.
y'all need to realize is that this ain't the real, listen, this ain't the real world.
No.
You need to go, and if I don't care if you're brand new and you made $1,000 this week, $2,000 this week, you take your bank statements, you white out the part that has your account on there, you go on social media and you say, hey, I ain't bragging. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. I'm brand new at this. Look, I made $2,000 in 1 hour helping the family. More importantly, I left feeling good about myself and good about what I did. Hey, they're hiring. Part-time, you make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a week. Who's interested? Hit me up. I guarantee you, people are going to start hitting you up. Right now, you're afraid to go talk to people, especially people that are doing good in life. You think they're balling. Some of these people are miserable. They hate their life. They hate what they do. Hours a week. That's game changing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You're breaking up a little bit, Bryan.
My bad. I have full bars. I don't know. Can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you were doing fine at first, but yeah, you keep freezing a little bit, but keep going. This is so good. Uh-oh, you frozen.
Okay. I mean, ask me anything else. That's the nugget I wanted to drop. I just wanted to get people. Oh, hold on. Let me try it on my phone. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. I agree, Isaac. This is a fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh.
Hey, is that better?
Yes, that is.
Okay.
So all right. So one of the questions that someone just messaged me is, when you, let me read it so I can read it the right way. How do you take the emotions out of the business? And I know the answer, but I want to see what you're going to say. When you hire 10 people and only one person gets a license.
Okay. So nobody's hired until they have a license anyway. But you can't control the people that don't do it. I mean, you tried. The only thing that I can control is what? My attitude and my activity. No, my attitude and my activity. I control my attitude and I control my activity. If my attitude is right and I'm working, what do I care if somebody decides they don't want to do it? I'm giving somebody the opportunity to get a license to print money legally. You can print as much money as you want and you acting funny about that and you're broke. Some people, they're not supposed to work with you. Like, think about that. If everybody worked with you, that'd be a problem.
Yeah.
I want to work with the people that are supposed to be with me. Show me a reason why you're not supposed to be with me, and I'm good to go. Show me a
That's
reason
so
why
good.
show me a reason why you're supposed to be with me, and I'll fight to the end of the world with you. Let's go. Let's build this thing. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
That's a good way to look at it.
that's how you gotta look at it.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
What other questions do we have? Leaders, Corinne, Andre, Steve, Mike Taplin, Mike Fowl. Any other leaders? What questions do you have for Bryan? I have no questions.
I have a question. I do.
Okay.
What's your system when when you first hired your staff? What was your system with building a relationship with the team while writing 30 to 40 grand, staying busy? Like, what was your system like? What was your schedule like? And then what were the duties of your recruiter? Like, how much were they to do? And then what was your part to be able to get everybody in, but also build that relationship so the numbers work in your favor?
You cut out a little bit, but I think I got your question. So basically, all I was doing is running like 100 hours a week, if I'm being honest. So like I would still run my 30, 40 appointments, run all my business, and I'll just stay on the phone. Every day I would lose my voice. And the reason why I did that is they saw how serious I was. They saw how hard I was working. And my staff, I don't know if you find a staff that is like they believe in you, it's a wrap. Like if I work with Kylie, I'll be like ready to run through whatever brick wall she pointed me at because she's about that life. Does that make sense? And like,
yeah, that's what I was asking because I have a staff. I do have somebody. I have an admin, and he's about to start recruiting. But for you, so I guess what your answer was is that your recruiter recruits for you, and then they get them in the system, and then your job is just to call them and build that relationship. So you're doing it in between appointments and then after appointments?
I'm doing it all the time.
Okay.
And the biggest thing too, like I still take, like when I was running business, I was still answering the phone in houses. And I would set it up to where it actually worked in my benefit. I sometimes got 5 calls in the house, which is there's definitely a lot. But when I sat with the client, I would say, hey, just so you know, I'm a vice president with the company. I'm gonna get some calls. These guys are gonna need some help. And if I do, I kind of gotta put you on hold for 1 second while I help them. And every time I got a call, but guess what that did? It solidified and gave me a bunch of respect with my clients because I put it on speakerphone. Mr. Mendendall, they have this, this, and this. What should I do? What's your recommendation? I'm giving the recommendation to all these people calling, but when I tell you which one you should do, you're gonna question me. So that really actually helped me. I know I went on the sidebar, but that's how you can still answer phones from a house, being an agent, and still help your agents. My agents knew that I was always going to be there for them. It was a lot of work, but that's how I built relationships. I was there for them and did stuff. I did a lot of stuff for people that I didn't have to do. You earn loyalty when you do things for people you don't have to do. Does that make sense? I'm gonna help you with something else with your recruiter. I'm gonna help you with something else with your recruiter and anybody else that you guys decide to hire. Anybody you decide to hire, just make sure that they know they're gonna grow with you. So there's no such thing in my office that like I make more money and like I just start blowing up and leave people where they are. It's not built like that. I start blowing up, I do better. Guess what? Everybody's gonna do better, and they know that. Like Aiko, I don't know if y'all know Aiko. She ain't going nowhere. She can't. Where's she gonna go? She gets taken care of, and she knows as I grow, she grows. Josie, same way. Everybody on my team, same exact way. Does that make sense? Y'all need to be like this.
Yes, thank you.
So Bryan, how many staff do you personally currently have?
5.
5 personal? Okay. And then how many do you have in your organization? You don't even know.
Not enough, but maybe like 17, 20.
Okay.
It's not where it needs to be. But you said something. How many agents did you say you had?
100, almost 190.
Okay. So I want you to change the way that you count your agents. You ready?
Okay. The ones that are writing?
Unique writers is what you have. How many unique writers did you have last month? I had 154.
I had 70 something.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So you're gonna grow. You're gonna blow this. You're gonna blow it up. You're literally half of where I'm at, and you're almost half the volume. Y'all maybe sell a little bit more value in the home, higher premiums because you sold more value. I don't know. Do you guys sell husband and wife in every house? You guys really push that?
Yeah, I mean, we do. If it's a husband and wife, that's one of the questions we ask. Like, is there anybody else that needs to be there? So we know what we're walking into. And I know myself personally, if the spouse is not there, I'm gonna come back and do the appointment when I have both there.
No, not just being there. Like if somebody fills it out and it's just for the husband, I'm spending it and I'm selling the husband and the wife. You don't know what's
Oh,
gonna happen
got you.
to one of them. So, and I teach all my guys that. So if y'all did that alone, y'all instead of doing 300 last month, y'all would have probably done 450. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. It was another question that I was going to ask you just about you. I mean, it's just like, Bryan, it's like you said, like, this is definitely like, this is not real world stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the amount of time that it takes for you to get from being broke, right? Or wherever, financially, wherever you are to the next level, it's minimal. You know what I mean? Like people's lives are changing just on a daily basis. What would you, what would be what's your advice that you give to your newest agent?
To get out of their own way. The people that are really, really smart make me really scared. I tell them to stop overthinking stuff and just follow the simple system. And if like I also say, don't tell me something that you want if you're not willing to fight for it, because it's just going to make us upset with each other. Because I'm going to come to try to help you, and then you're not. You didn't mean what you said, and that's not cool to either one of us. So if you want to be a part-time guy and make an extra 1,000, 2,000 a month, a week, I'll meet you there. Don't tell me you want to deal with integrity if you're not serious, because it's going to frustrate the both of us really quickly. Does that make
Right.
sense? So,
Yeah.
but like a brand new person, I would just tell them, look, start. I'll meet you where you are, but like start with $1,000 a week on leads. If you don't have that, start with 500. But don't go backwards. You're only buying leads once, maybe twice. Every other
Yeah.
time the clients buy your leads, that commission is going to pay for your leads. So take that. And if you were broke today and you have $500 and you made 1,200, don't spend it. I would dump a whole 12 back into leads and just be broke for another week. So then I can never go back again. I take
Mm-hmm.
that 1,200, then I would make 4 grand, and then I would start spending 2 grand a week on leads. That was the recipe. If I ask every single person here today if they'd be willing to spend $2,000 a week, 100,000 to make 500, everybody would do that. So
Absolutely.
do it. So do it. That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell a new agent. I would also tell them, don't be a secret agent. Tell people about what we do. You're not bragging. You just want to help people. And if you look at like, again, I'm not a pro. I got people, Mark Tarolia. If y'all want to find out how to recruit on social media, go follow Mark Tarolia. He's a guy on my team. He's the honestly, he's on pace to what Dave Witcher did. He started with me full
Oh,
time.
shoot.
He's on pace. He started with me full time in like November. Last month he did 336, and then this month he'll do almost 475, maybe 500K. So in less than 6 months,
Dang.
you know what I mean? So that's Dave Witcher speed, but this dude
Yeah.
is a social media guru. So follow him.
Got you. And then was this last thing, my last, we'll kind of close with this part. What's your next step, Bryan? What's your next goal? I mean, I know integrity is definitely that's the end goal. But what, in your mind, what do you, where do you want to hit next? What's your next thing?
I mean, the next milestone is 2 million. Because I mean, once you get to 1 million, it's a numbers game. So you have the people. All I need to do is fine tune some small things, get some more people to believe in themselves. People have more staff, and then we get to $2 million. I mean, the deal with integrity is great. I'm definitely excited about that, and I want to more importantly find out who the next 5 to 10 people I can help get deals with integrity. That's
Got
that's
you.
gonna be that's gonna be what feels the best to me because I'm already honestly I'm good. Like if I can be transparent, like when I decided to start spending a lot of money, like I'll be 100% transparent. Last month, oh wait, I kind of put my foot in my mouth. That's a lot. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all.
What were you about to say, Mark? I mean, Brian, who were you about to say?
So last month deposited, let's say 122,000. Okay.
In your account.
Yeah, but listen,
I got you.
I spent 108
on business.
All on business. So like, for those that like are saying, "Oh, well, yeah, you making money." You think you deposit that much? You're supposed to have like, that's how much I believe in what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, you spend. That's insane. I mean, but even still, with the money that you have left over to spend on yourself, with your salary, like you're still not doing too bad.
I'm in that number. I'm in the number of salary, and everything's wrapped up in there.
Oh, that's included in that.
Everything's wrapped up in there, but
okay,
that's still like a lot. That's crazy. Like, I never thought, like, I remember when I had my first couple of staff, and I told my mom, I spend $250,000 a year on staff, because I had staff and I paid myself. And I was like, I made it. And now, like, what?
Yeah, there's definitely levels to this, because I spent only 5,000 on, and I'm saying only now 5,000 on staff. And then we talked, I don't know, 2 months ago, or whenever the last time you and I talked, and I was like scared to get staff, and you were like, you can't be scared. You got to spend money to make money. And then I just, I bit the bullet, and this is month 2 for me having staff. And I'm already seeing a lift, just the amount of people. I mean, yesterday I put 8 people in class yesterday. You know what I mean? And so it's definitely, it's going to pay dividends. And I know it's going to take another month or so for me to just even start to see a little bit of the results. But, it's just, I know it's going to grow. And I feel the one thing from the other company that I was with, they talked to us a lot about spending money. And we spent a lot of money, but we never got a return on our investment. And I think that's the biggest thing here that people would need to understand, is that when we say spend this money, we can tell you for a fact it will come back, right? And I know you said that on stage, like, that if you spend, it's crazy how it works, is you spend this money and the money just ends up coming back to you, and it's way more than what you even put out. So it's wild how the universe works as far as that's concerned.
Kylie, I gave at least 20 grand in free leads out last month. Just gave it out.
Yeah, like that's insane. But you have to be in position. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that's been very clear to me is that, going out and writing, you got to be able to do that, so that you can help other people. Because the more, some people, oh, it's not about the money. I came here to help people. But if you came here to help people, make a lot of money so you can help more people. Because if you just make enough money for yourself, you can only help you, right? Facts. But I'm sure with your 20,000, if you spent just on leads, you were able to help a whole lot more people than just Bryan Mendendall. And so now other people's vision can expand, to the point where I want to get to the point where I can spend $20,000 to help new people get started, because I know when I started, I didn't have it and someone helped me out, so that's so powerful. We got time for one more question. Bryan, I know you got to go, but hold on, let me ask you this last question. How do you come up with your salary how do you come up with your salary now as a new agent? Brandy, just ask the question, because I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
I know what he's asking. He's asking if he's hiring staff, how does he come up with how much he pays them? Is that right?
Is that right, Brandy? Let's assume that's right.
Sorry, I had to get to the screen. Hi guys, how are you? So no, my question is as you're building, and you said that you pay yourself a salary. So when you're, I have about 8 writing agents. So I'm fairly new to building. Okay. So how do I know how much to pay myself a salary now? And then as my team grows, like when and how do you decide how much do you increase it?
That's a great question. That's like So if I was working with you, I would just make sure that she don't overthink stuff. She's really smart. I can tell. So yeah, you gotta not overthink things, okay? But would you like to have a deal with integrity, or are you playing this long haul game where you're going to sell life insurance for a long time and just have a bunch of agents?
I mean, of course, I would love to have a deal with integrity.
Okay, I'm just asking. So the reason why I ask is, if that's the end game, then why would your salary ever change? I would pay myself right now what I need to pay my bills, and maybe put a little tiny money away for emergency fund and a little bit of money for entertainment. Outside of that, I will put everything else in the business because the goal is integrity, correct?
Yes.
So if you start making double, why would you pay yourself more if the goal is to have a deal with integrity?
Okay.
Keep paying yourself the same. Don't change your lifestyle. I made a bunch of mistakes. I upgraded the house. I got like 5 cars at one point. Like, it was nutty. Okay? I'm telling you, I made these mistakes so you don't. Don't change your lifestyle. Stay the same. Be able to put the money back in the business and go from there. Guys, I do got to run. I got to jump on a plane. Kylie, I appreciate you more than you even
Bryan,
know.
thank you so much. We appreciate you and your time. Thank you. I know I know you're pressed for time, but thank you for pouring into us. Thank you. Bryan, you can drop off. This call is recorded.
All right, guys.
It will
Take
be
care.
available. Thanks, Bryan. It will be available on YouTube on the Fury channel on Monday. So if you missed some of it, you definitely want to go back and listen to the whole thing, because Bryan gave so much fire today and so much great information on how you can grow your business and move forward very quickly. You don't want to, you want to hear what he had to say over and over again. So have a good day, guys. Have a good week. We will talk to you next Saturday. Bye.